A movie that I really enjoyed was a movie with Morgan Freeman and Jack Nicholson called The Bucket List. It's about these two men who've been told they have about 6 months left to live. And what do? They set out on an adventure to do as many items as possible, or all the items on their bucket list, before they died. We all have a mental bucket list. You know, maybe write that book, go back to school, take that trip to somewhere exotic, go camping, go fishing, run the marathon, go skydiving. I mean, we all have items on our own bucket list. But a bucket list is not a to-do list like what we have in our day-to-day life. You know, I've got to do this, do that. A bucket list is really a light. It illuminates. It's a light that sheds light on what lights us up inside. It's really, that's what a bucket list really does. So write the novel. Why? What is it about writing the novel that you like? A bucket list tells us not only what lights our souls, but it also tells us what we truly value. My bucket list, or my desire, or passion, whatever you want to call it, was, you know, to do these videos around the world. And when I told someone that recently, she said, well, there's a pandemic. Why not think of alternatives? What if you can't do these? What if you can't do these videos? What if you can't travel? And the first thing that came up to mind was not what if I can't travel, but why am I even attracting this conversation? What am I vibrating? Is the pandemic affecting me so deeply that why am I even vibrating at a level that's even attracting this conversation? Well, what I did was I just said, get back into myself, touch those moments of joy in my life and get my vibration up, and guess what? I just kept to the vision, and I was able to, I had the right passport, and I was able to go somewhere where the rate of infection is even lower than where I was living at. So it was more like not listening to those people around. And that's what we've done, you know, for years. It's all these people that tell us, well, can't do this, can't do that. They mean well, but understand that what's on your bucket list very likely is emerging from somewhere within. And your inner being, your core, really just wants the best for you. So what's on your bucket list? What is on your bucket list, and why is it on your bucket list? A few years ago, while I was still a financial advisor in Canada, I had a client who, you know, I had just come back from a holiday in Europe, and she was asking me where I'd been, and I told her, and first thing that came out from her mouth was, you know, that's my biggest regret is I wish I'd traveled more. And I asked her, why didn't you? And she said, well, my husband was not into it. He was not into traveling, and back then, Jen, we did not push our husbands. The first thing that came to my mind is, I'm not sure if anybody's worth staying for if they stopped you from doing what you really want to do. But that's for another video, and it's up for discussion. But my heart truly went out to her, and so I said, why don't you do it now? And she said, well, a lot of my friends have passed on. She'd spent so many years, the last few years, really nursing a sick husband, and so she said, a lot of my friends have either passed on, I've lost them because I've just been taking care of my husband. And I just I just thought, I just like to make sure that everybody has a chance to do something that lights their soul so they don't live with regret. My challenge to you then is you might already have a bucket list. What's on your bucket list? And if you don't have a bucket list, why don't you start one? Write down all the things that you really think you'd love to do, and no limitations, as if there was no limitations with money or time. Just write down everything that you long to do or you thought you'd like to do. Free yourself, and then pick one thing on that bucket list. Give yourself a deadline, and now create a plan. Create a plan to actually start or complete or do one thing that's on your bucket list. I'm Jennifer Thompson with Buying Happiness Around the World.